Vancouver is also eyeing a prime piece of property in the city that will soon be vacated. The old, expansive RCMP E-Division near Little Mountain will be moving to a new location in Surrey next year. And while the city is itching to get its hands on the land and has all kinds of development ideas, there's no sign that the federal government, which owns that land, is ready to make a deal. Ted Field reports.
They are some rather nondescript buildings and parking lots sitting in a residential area of Vancouver where a neighboring house on a standard lot can sell for over $1 million. But next year that land could free up, and that leads to opportunity.
E-Division is the most fantastic piece of property, huge piece of property in one of the neighborhoods, Oarkridge, which I think is one of the greatest opportunities for having housing supply in the city of Vancouver.
The RCMP has been on the site near Little Mountain since the 1920s. When Mounties were still mounted on horses kept on the property. Next year, the E-Division headquarters will move to a brand new building in Surrey. The federal government has not yet said what will happen to the Vancouver site that's estimated to be worth over $200 million, but some city councillors are eyeing the land.
Whoever winds up owning it, it's important that we put in all the values that we see long-term being necessary there. It's close to transit. There's a crying need for housing in the city, particularly more diverse types of housing that more people could afford to live in.
The idea of the city trying to get first dibs and buying portions of the 8.5-hectare site that's 21 acres causes worry.
I'm not sure that the city should be buying an expensive piece of property like that. We did that down in the Olympic Village, and look at the trouble that led to. Sometimes I think it's better for the city just to leave this to the private marketplace, let somebody buy it, let them build. There'll be lots of housing, I predict, I don't know, lots of housing built there, very beneficial to the city.
At the Olympic Village, the city also put a lot of demands on the developer. So on the RCMP lands, the city's expecting all sorts of amenities, parks, schools, affordable housing, but how do you make sure those don't make the project lay a rather expensive egg?
There's very little chance of having another Olympic Village given the controls that are in place now. The only way you would get to that kind of situation is if the city decided to take on all the risk again from a developer and then wound up as we did in the middle of the worst recession we've seen so far. Hopefully the last recession we've seen for a while.
The federal government hasn't yet given out the ground rules and what it will do with all that lucrative land, but when it does, there will be a lot of action.